Welcome to the newest edition of the DFO podcast. What we're going to be doing in these collective episodes over the next 50 weeks is jumping through every state and what they offer. And we'll probably stick closer to deer hunting. We'll go over a little bit of the other seasons in some of them. The order I'm going to be doing it in is the order they joined the union instead of alphabetical order or anything. I like to do things just different, so that's where I'm going to be going. So this will be the inaugural episode of it. It'll run for the next 50 weeks. They will come out on Thursdays. So each one will be titled basically what state they're in. So some of the things we're going to go over in each and every episode is when they joined the union. Obviously, it'll be in the order of when they did by the date. What they offer when it comes to public land hunting, how much property they have, if it's an over-the-counter, if it's a draw, their deer density, if we can locate it in the different states, just what their license costs, just different things I want to try and go over with every state, because as I'm learning, I want to try to educate other people, because I'm learning this as I do the research for each one. If you know more about what I'm doing than I'm doing on those states, and reach out and let us know the things are correct in them, because I'm finding everything I can. Some of the stuff can be a little bit confusing, so we're going to go from there. And that's how this is going to work over the next 50 weeks. Hope y'all enjoy it. I've researched several of them so far, and I enjoyed myself trying to learn more about each state. Thanks. Delta Lodge Outdoors. This is your view of every state from more like a 30,000 viewpoint. Hey everybody, in today's episode of the States edition, we jump into Pennsylvania. I hope y'all enjoyed last week's edition of it with Delaware. I said this week is Pennsylvania. I learned a lot on this one. They have a way more public land than I imagined. Way more deer. Their deer density is actually pretty decent. So they have a black bear season, which I didn't know they did that. They also have a I believe an elk season. Let me flip through my paperwork here. Yeah, they have an elk, which surprised me. I won't dive much past the deer. Like I said, their black bear numbers have went way up. In the 70s, they had 4,000 estimated. Now they have like 18,000, which is pretty good opportunities for people. Did not realize they had such a dense bear density either. So with today's episode being about Pennsylvania, we'll dive into, they have 1.5 million, roughly 1.5 million acres of public land that you can deer hunt on. Their seasons are pretty decent. Let's see, we'll get past black bear here and get into archery for deer. And let's see. There's a lot of units, so I don't want to quote you wrong dates. I would dive into it and see where the public land that you plan on hunting, if you're hunting public, fits in, because there is vast units in the way it works out. But their deer herd is estimated at 1.5 million, which is pretty damn big. About 30 deer per square mile is what they're estimated at. That's a lot for it. Like I said in the opening here, I kind of talked about their black bear population was way more than I thought it would be. Didn't figure they had a season. They do. Their acreage being 1.5 million is public land to hunt, and I know a lot of guys. There's different podcasts that talk about it, and different guys and that actually guide on public land there. So you can. It's from my understanding, you can actually guide on public land. Could be wrong. Correct me if I am, but they have guys that do it, so I'm assuming it's legal. They have some really good opportunities. They have some decent deer. You're not gonna just go there and kill your next Boone and Crockett, but you can kill some good deer. There is Boone and Crockett there if you know how to hunt and have the correct areas to hunt. But it's not going to be in a top 10 state. We'll get into those. That'll probably be, well, if we do 50 weeks of this, I think the next series will be the top 10 states of what and why and how it's changed over the last 10 to 15 years, or say since YouTube and stuff really took off, and we'll see how that made the changes and stuff. I think that'd be a good like mini series to go 10, 12 weeks of the different states that have really changed because of that. But we don't want to dive too far into that right now, because that actually just hit me while we were talking, and this one to record. So I appreciate y'all being my soundboard. So this one is Pennsylvania. Like I said, we're doing them in order of when they joined the Union. This one was December the 12th, 1787. So they were second state, literally 5 days after Delaware. So Pennsylvania was right in there. They have, like I stated a while ago, 1.5 million acres roughly of public land to deer hunt on. You can bear hunt, you can elk hunt. There's rules and regulations in that I'm not going to dive into. Their deer seasons are done off of units, from my understanding, looking at my paperwork. So I would do more research into that, because I don't want to quote you wrong for it. Like I said, this is just a general overview from a 30,000 mile 30,000 foot aerial of like, boom, this is what you can do there. So I don't want to quote you like it's this and you go in there and like, this dumb fuck. So that's where we're at on that. What I do like is, once again, they're a state that their license for hunting is not hugely, and like the prices, your non-resident adult hunter is and like I said, there may be some stuff I'm missing, but it's $101.97. Your archery is another $26.97. Your muzzle loader would be another $21.90. You can get a bear tag for like $36.97. I believe it's gonna be archery only, but you could literally go there and for $200 to a good bit of hunting. From what I'm seeing, roughly their deer season opens mostly with archery somewhere in September. I could be mid-September. I'm gathering on most of it. Archery September 14th is what I'm seeing on most of it. So unless I'm missing something, but I would check that out, because that's another nice start to a deer season. That's cooler weather being up north, and some of these first few states were definitely not on my radar, but just to go and check them out would be cool, because it's not a crazy, expensive cost, especially if you have a group. Like, you go by yourself and you food, fuel, eats, room and board, depends on how you camp or whatever. It could get pricey, but if you got a good group, 3-4 guys that you camp with and hunt with, it's not bad to help each other out. But that's Pennsylvania is, like I said, 1.5 million acres public land, over-the-counter tags. Pretty good opportunities with a 1.5 million plus estimated head of deer. 30 deer per square mile. You're not gonna see many monsters, but you're gonna see deer, and that's from my research here and looking at it. And that is what, if you're gonna go and make hunts that are out of state and everything, that's what you want, an opportunity. And Pennsylvania looks to be a state that can produce a pretty good opportunity for some over-the-counter tags, and to be able to enjoy another state at a reasonable price that has a lot of public land with a lot of deer. Deer herd size, it's up there with Missouri, and Missouri is a prime state that people go to due to the fact that of all the crop stuff around it. But let's just put numbers to numbers. Deer herd size and acreage. I don't have Missouri's in front of me because that comes later. It's the 24th state. Once I get that, and I'll hit it in that episode we'll see the size difference in the two on what public land's there, and I believe they're going to be pretty comparable on their deer herds. I know they are on their deer herd size, and their property size. It's pretty close. It's got me wondering now. Sorry. I'm trying to do a quick research and I'm not getting it. Uh, I know that's not the right one, but sorry, I'll have to look this up at a later date because I don't want to get sidetracked and not do. And but it's it's a pretty good amount. They have more than 2,500 places, but it's not giving me the. Here we go. You can only Missouri public and private lands. Missouri's government lands over 2. I know that can't be right. So I don't want to quote you a number, but Missouri and Pennsylvania are pretty comparable on the deer herd size and the amount of public land. So if you're centrally located to the two, and we're just going somewhere, Pennsylvania, I don't know the amount of hunters. I'd have to look at that, but archery hunters isn't going to be. Those two are probably comparable states for archery and everything. It's definitely going to be on my list of more information, and I know I believe it'll be one that gets moved up in the list of when I want to hunt it, because I did not realize I had 1.5 million acres of public land. Did not realize that their deer density is what it was. I've got to look more into the non-resident bear and elk and see how difficult it is to get a tag. If you can even get one as on the elk, because I'm not seeing it, but on the bear I'm seeing it. So that would be something I'd be interested in. So that is your overview of Pennsylvania. Like I said, some of these will be short and sweet. I'm not going to dive much into them. I'm just giving a general of how much public land they have, a rough when the season starts, and a rough cost of tags. We can dive more into them if there's something y'all want to know more. I'm just getting you a rough thing of when to go, because like you can get, there's a series called something like Chasing the Rut or whatever with the Deer Hunter podcast with Kevin, and they do like a one a month 12-part series, and they hit each of the states of several, like 3-4 states at a time, basically, because they planned it out to chase the rut. The guy that did hit that series with him, so that would be, and he's actually a Pennsylvania guy, I believe, but that would be one to look into to get more information of certain states. This is just like his is a broad overview, and so is mine, but they're kind of not the same broad overview. So this is an over-the-counter state at a reasonable price with lots of deer and lots of property to hunt. 1.5 million plus head of deer, 1.5 million acres of public land, $102 plus your other tag around 27. So not a bad price. I don't think I'm missing anything. If I am, y'all let me know. That is your overall view of what Pennsylvania has to offer and what it costs to go do it. And that would be a really, cool hunt. You could actually schedule, September would be a good one to schedule, because the leaves are starting to change, autumn's hitting. You could take it and make a family trip out of it if you have, like my youngest son hunts, my oldest doesn't. My wife and my daughter and my oldest son, there's stuff they would go do while myself and my youngest son hunted, then do some family things in between there. So that it would be a cool, like, week-long trip, 4-day week-long trip to take if you were trying to incorporate a deer hunt into a fun family trip and you were coming from the south to go somewhere and enjoy some cooler weather in mid-September. So that's why it would be on my list. Like I said, not an expensive place to hunt, lots of deer, lots of property. I think it's a sleeper in what it has to offer. I'm not going to say it's a sleeper in the quality of deer, but I think there's an opportunity to kill deer in the state. There's two different types of, I'm not going to get there and talk about, there's a meat hunter, then there's an antler, horn hunter. I have a goal of public land killing, wonderful bucks, but at least kill a doe on every state I go to on public land. So that's, I've knocked out 3. Yes, right now I've got knocked out 3. Some are public, some are private, but I want to add it and make it all public. But any state I can go to that I can hunt, whether it's public or private, I'm going to hunt it, and I want to add it to the list of states that I've killed deer in. Pennsylvania has it's a cheap price for a decent possibility of a good outcome. So apples to apples, it in Missouri would be on my list to go to. Thank y'all, Julius Craig, Delta Lodge Outdoors. This is your States Edition. This was Pennsylvania. Look forward to the next one.